Down out. What's up, everybody? You are tuned into the Elks Call, your home for Edmonton Elks fan talk. My name is Scout, aka the rep from Section X.
And I'm Catherine.
We are coming to you live on Shotgun Sports Network with the replay airing exclusively on Edmonton Sports Talk. Catherine, Elks 7-3. What a freaking game on Saturday.
We'll definitely talk about it, but let's just say that I have not seen a game like that before. So that was a first. That was a first for me.
Fans in Edmonton haven't seen a win like that since 2014. Let's be real. So it's not just you. I don't even know if I was at that game in 2014. So yeah, I mean, absolutely unreal result. But of course, on to the next one. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about a lot today on the Elks Call. We do have a very fun episode up ahead of us here. We can't thank you enough for riding with us over here at the Elks Call and, of course, the Elks Herd. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and favorite buttons because that's how you show some love around here, especially with YouTube coming out with some new rules. Could use the YouTube subscribes. Shameless plug for Shotgun Sports Network here. But all right, let's give everybody the schedule for today. It is as follows. We're going to open up with the More You Didn't Know, where we chat with our guest. After that, we are going to have Kathy's Herd Report, where we talk about the latest game, the next game, what's your fantasy, all of that good stuff, all in one segment. After that, we have an Edmonton Sports Update. And then we will play Green or Gold, our take on Hot or Not. Then, of course, finally, closing out the show with the Fan Forum, where we talk about all the hottest topics. But for today, this show is going to start with the More You Didn't Know, where we chat with our guest about a variety of topics. This segment is brought to you by Royal Retros. If you like throwbacks, you're going to love Royal Retros. You can see these jerseys around town. You can see one jersey right there, particularly the 5-Pete. That's what we like. Of course, you have to get Tom Wilkinson on there too. But if you want to get your own Royal Retros throwback jersey, CFL-inspired jerseys, Football Canada jerseys, you're going to head over to royalretros.com. They are the throwback kings. But without further ado, please welcome to the show former U of A Golden Bear and current co-host of The Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne and the Green and Gold Kickoff and Postgame Show. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Jay Milne. Jay. Pew, 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 pew. Man, I mean, last Saturday, were you enjoying that game as much as we were?
Yes, I was, because I have a very unique, I don't know if you would guess where I was watching it from.
Oh, yes, that's right. From Kelowna?
I was watching it from the Royal Canadian Legion number 99, I'll let you know, in Sicamous, British Columbia, with another very good friend of mine and former Golden Bear, Simon Pacey. We were out on family vacay together, and that was the first time I'd been in a Legion. Was the night before. We were at the farmers market in Sicamous, and the Legion serves $5 beers off draft, and the food is like great pub food. So I made an executive decision that we're watching the game, the Elks game, from the Legion. So yeah, it was great. It was fantastic.
That's amazing. All the way out in Sicamous.
Yeah. Sicamous, watching the Elks. I mean, it was pretty poetic. But I mean, that was interesting, Catherine, in your intro that you said you'd never seen a game like that. And I get it. It was unique. I mean, it was 11-9 at half, and then to explode in the second half like they did, and to have the defense step up the way they did, it showed me a lot about that team. And I must admit, hand up, I've probably been one of the more bullish people around Edmonton sports talk in my feelings about what's going on with the Elks, because I've worked closely with President Chris Morris. When he was the head coach of the Golden Bears, I was the president of the Alumni Association, and we started a lot of things together at that time that had never been done there. And, you know, we started a gala dinner. We started a study study hall program. Things that require, I'll just say it, they require money to make this team operate and make this team move up the ladder in Canada West football. Chris is a get done kind of guy. He's not a sit around, wait for somebody else to do it. He'll get it done. So as soon as they made that hire, I said, okay, that's a great step one. Then it was Ed Hervey. I've always loved the way Ed Hervey has not only managed teams, but I've always loved and admired the way he played the game. He played the game with a certain amount of intensity, that he was able to switch on and switch off, but discipline. Yeah. Discipline outside of that one Labor Day game where he threw the helmet at the guy. We'll give him a free pass on that. And then Mark Killam. I've known Mark for a long time. And you talk about a guy that's been waiting for his chance, biding his time to get this opportunity to become a head coach. I thought when all those things aligned that this team was better. Forget the players, because the players, although they mean a lot, you need to have that, that line, that conformity in the organization that doesn't change from year to year to year to year to start laying a foundation. And I felt as soon as they had that, all right, I think this team's going to go to the Grey Cup. I said
Love
that
it.
since early on in the hiring of Chris Morris. Now, I didn't say that year, but I felt like, okay, things are on the up and up in Edmonton and the Elks. So back to your point, Catherine, of that you haven't seen a game like that. I think that game was a culmination of a lot of things that they've been working on for a long time. That, I believe, was the Elks standard that you should expect defensively, week in, week out. That was defensive control. That was beautiful to watch. I'm a defensive guy. I love seeing that. And the offense didn't play down to their opponent's level. They found a way to get through the mud and deliver. So that was the result, I think, that you would expect of a team that is of a championship caliber. So I'm not surprised you haven't seen that in a long time, Catherine.
Most definitely. I'm a fairly new fan considering, comparing to scouting yourself. So for me, it was very exciting to see something like that, especially after the game against Montreal, right? You start kind of questioning a little bit when you see a really good team and then suddenly they have a really off game, and you're like, oh no, what are we going to expect? What's going to happen this game? So
Montreal's a hell of a team, though.
Oh, 100%.
Montreal's the Grey Cup runs through Montreal. That's my prediction as of right now. And if you can catch them at one game and beat them, kudos. But I think Montreal's the number one team in the CFL.
Yeah, and especially looking at the record right now, they are 8-1, somewhere around there, right? So they've only suffered one loss on the season. They do have, I believe, Ottawa coming up, I want to say, next. So if there's a pick of the week that you're absolutely sure on, it's probably that game. But you're the pick of the week over here at the Elks Call, apparently popping the media cherry over here. So we're very thrilled about that. Let's get to know you first, and then we can get into some more football, because I think for our viewers and listeners, it's always important to hear who exactly they're talking or listening to here on the headphones. So got to know, where did your passion for sports come from?
Great question. I think it derived from my older siblings. I grew up just outside of Sherwood Park, and I'm the youngest of four. And my other siblings were incredibly athletic, very athletic. In fact, every one of us played at the University of Alberta. My two oldest brothers played football at U of A, and my sister played Pandas soccer. So,
oh, nice.
They were always driving me. My older brothers especially were teaching me how to hit, how to hit with your head. That's what you were taught back then. But I think it was just we were always competitive. We always had a level of compete in our household that you didn't want to lose. There was no repercussions, but you just didn't want to lose. So I think that's where my love for sports. And then when I got to say like the junior high level and I started playing school sports was then where I met friends that I would still consider my best friends today. I mean, we're talking almost 35 years ago in some instances, that I wouldn't have had those friends if it wasn't for sports. So and I feel that's probably the more important part of everything with sports related is the relationships you have coming out of it. So then I continued playing, and then at some point you have to choose where you want to kind of hang your hat. And for me, that was after I graduated from high school, and then I went on to play with the Wildcats, the Edmonton Wildcats for, I always forget if it's 2 or 3, I think it was 2 seasons. And then I went and transferred over to U of A and played there for 4 seasons. And yeah, the rest, that's where I met my wife. She played Pandas basketball at U of A. And so another thing I'm very grateful that sports helped, bridge that connection. So yeah, if you've heard me anytime on my show, it's sports are great, wins or losses. Winning's great at the professional level, but when you're playing sports at an amateur level, I already feel like you've won because you have the chance to succeed in different areas of your life that you wouldn't have had an opportunity if it weren't for sports.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
I do. Talking about your U of A experience and what you had there, we do have a question from Grayson, if that's correct. He wants to know about a hit on an SFU player where you went over the middle. Can you tell us about that one?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was out in Simon Fraser, which at the time was part of Canada West Football. And that was, so that's in Burnaby, BC. So that at that point, there's 2 teams out in BC, UBC, Simon Fraser. So you'd try one of those teams every year. And it was always an exciting trip because you get to fly, right? So it was different. But I remember that game. I wasn't feeling great for the game. I was like, man, something's off. Like I'm not feeling it. My parents came out. My parents flew out to watch. And then I just remember there was like a flick of a switch. Like our offense got the ball first. My really great friend Jared Winkle took the ball. I think it was like 80 some yards and scored a touchdown on like the second play of the game. And then woof, you're full of all the juices. And we proceeded to lay just a beat down on that team. And it was a play later in the game where they needed to throw the ball. I knew that they were throwing the ball. We all knew they were throwing the ball. And a player that was kind of my thing. And for the person that asked that question, like I wasn't the fastest guy. I went to the CFL Combine. You can look up my results. They're horrible. I wasn't the strongest guy. I studied the game. I knew the game. So if a quarterback was going to drop back and throw the ball, you better be outside of my third of the field with your eyes, at least, because that was something I was able to read very well. So he was dropping back with his eyes on his. It was an over-under. So an over-under is where they flash somebody in front of the linebackers and then bring somebody over deep. And it was an over-under, and I saw it coming the whole way. And that's back when you, like I said, you could hit with your head. I would be kicked out of games now. But yeah, I made extremely good contact, and it was an incomplete pass. And, I'd love to talk to that guy now. I'd love to, find his side of that story. I have video of it, but it was one of those ones where his head hit the ground before his feet hit. Right. Now today, like I said, I would be kicked out of the game for that, but back then it was totally legal.
Back then, when it didn't really matter, and
this would have been like 2005, 2004. So, hitting with your helmet was perfectly legal at that point.
Right.
Yeah, that one was in from Grayson Wells. So that's
Grayson
a special,
Wells, of course. Yes.
Yeah, special request.
Grayson.
I know Grayson very well. Yeah, well,
Grayson, the pride of Lloydminster.
Yeah. He had quite the Vanier career himself. So I've been bugging him to bring that ring to work so he can show me. But let's fast forward to present day, because now you are with Edmonton Sports Talk. As we know, you're co-hosting shows such as the Reed Wilkins Show with Jay Milne and the Green and Gold pre and post. And as well, I believe you're also you're in a director role with EST as well, right?
Like sales. Yeah.
Sales.
Yeah, I handle sales. I think directors of it's maybe a term, but it's like I don't have a business card that says that or anything. It's just like, and that's very EST is we all do whatever we can to kind of for the better good. So I come from a sales background, so that was part of me joining up with EST, was that I could help them grow. And Edmonton Sports Talk is much like, I'm sure you guys, I mean, like there's funding or, grants and whatnot that you can sustain and make it by with. We depend on our partners, much like, retros, I heard you say earlier. So that was a big part of me coming over as well, was to help Dustin and help grow, EST. So yeah, we're growing every day. But yeah, I guess I am technically director of sales, to answer your question.
Well, and it's funny, I do have to also ask too, because Mick Aussie here in the herd chat. What up, Mick? What up, everybody else that has chimed in as well in the herd chat? Keep them coming. And if you do have questions for J Milne, get them into the herd chat as well. But Avon's, was it tough to walk away from the furniture business?
Yes and no. I would be naive to say no. I mean, when I walked away from Yvonne's, the only person that knew really, outside of my family, of course, but like I told Dustin about Yvonne's shutting down. So just to give a quick, Yvonne's furniture story, that was my parents' business that they started in 1993. And then when I graduated from university, I went into the business. And then eventually my oldest brother and I bought my parents out. And we were running it. At that point, it had been 12 years since 2020, up till 2023. And then EST started. Dustin called me and said, "Hey, do you want to come fill in on the hangout? I think you'd be a good voice for it." And I'm like, "Yes." That's another thing a lot of people wouldn't know. Like I've always craved a broadcasting career. I just never had the path for it, going right from university into the family business. Mm-hmm. Nothing against it. Like it was great, but you know what I mean? It just didn't present itself as an opportunity. Mm-hmm. Dustin calls and says that. So I start doing the hangout, and it's going very well. So in October of 2023, we were at a watch party at Century Casino. We were watching the Commanders play the Chicago Bears. And I kind of self-invited myself. I wasn't full-time EST at that point. And I told Dustin that night, I said, "Hey, just so you know, in March of 2024, like we're done with Yvonne's. I'm shutting the stores down because I wanted to do something different in life. I didn't know what it was. So I said, hey, if anything pops up or if you're thinking of expanding EST, I might be available, or I would be available." Mm-hmm. So that was the first conversation. Then from there, it escalated very fast to where, there was talks and discussion about potentially Reed Wilkins moving over, and the addition of an afternoon drive home show, which I'd be a part of. And I was like, yeah, I'm in. I don't even need to talk about much. Like I'm in. So things escalated very fast. But Yvonne's was, and Mick Aussie, yeah, he shopped at Yvonne's actually. I met him there quite a few years ago on our St. Albert Trail location. So I remember that quite fondly.
That's awesome. the community, right? Like, I mean, the community is, especially the Edmonton sports community, it's pretty crazy. I mean, people intertwine in all sorts of weird ways, including, let's say, furniture stores and, all the way down to Century Casino.
Well, it's like sorry. I was just going to say it's timing, right? It's the right time, being the right time, the right place, and then suddenly opportunities pop up.
It's totally timing, which because that's like a big, I've got a wife and 3 kids, and like it's like, okay, dad's shutting down the furniture store. That's all my kids knew. So it was for sure, but I knew I had wanted that. I knew I wanted that. I almost needed that change in my life to just explore. Like, I'd been doing furniture since I was 12. Right. That's 1993. That's when we started things. And, as a family business, you're not sitting at home on a weekend. You're at the store. You're helping unload shipments. I was 14-year-old, and I used to get so pissed off because as a 14-year-old, people wouldn't take me seriously as a salesman. Right. And that would drive me nuts because, like, why don't they appreciate, like, I'm trying to sell them on this couch, Mom, and they're like, it's okay. So it was a big change for sure. But back to what you said, Catherine, about the timing, because the way things came together, that to me made, and still to this day makes me very comfortable in knowing that I feel like that was the right decision. Because the way things fell into place, boom, boom, boom. Like, I have no business being in broadcasting, but somehow I'm here, right? Like that kind of story. It worked out very well. So yeah. And little fun fact, like Dustin and I, my mom sent me a video or a picture of this. She's got a cassette tape that she kept from Dustin and I used to call Golden Bears football games together, like in 2010. So she sent me a tape of, I got to get it like digitized because it would be so funny to listen to, from 2010 in Regina, when we called the Bears Regina Rams football game together. So that's the connection that Dustin and I had, was we knew each other from calling Bears football games together.
That's so cool.
So, I do have to ask though, how do you like being in the media side of sports?
I love it. Yeah, I love it. See, it's funny. I've always been one of those guys that is just following sports anyways. So it was very natural for me, I think, to come into this role. Like, I'm not one of those people that'll say, oh, well, I cover the Elks. I can't, heaven forbid they win. Screw that. Of course I want the Elks to win. Are you kidding me? Like, it's if the Edmonton Elks go to the Grey Cup, that's better for everybody in Edmonton.
Yeah. If
the Edmonton Oilers go to the Stanley Cup, that's better for everybody. That's better for our listeners. That's better for vibes. Like, I know there's always ebbs and flows to sports, but I'm not there where I will say but at the same time, I'm probably one of the most critical people in the office about the Elks. Because
you are.
It's not like I'm holding back anything, or saying, well, I don't know if I want to cross that line. I'm very comfortable in saying when I think something's wrong, but I'm not there to say, like, and that's a broadcasting thing, is, well, you can't be a fanboy of a team you cheer for. I wouldn't say I'm a fanboy, but of course I want the Elks to do well. I mean, this is Edmonton. This is where I grew up. I can't take that out of my body and say I'm somebody different right now than I am. So, but it's okay to be both. I think a healthy balance. If you can still maintain the criticism, and maybe not always criticism, you can take joy and positivity, but you have to be able to keep that mindset that you're covering this with I guess a certain level of professionalism, where sure, I can't say we when I'm referring to the Elks. That's fine. But I think everybody that's listening is also an Elks fan. You know, it was like when we used to call Bears games, you'd say, well, if it's a game at Foot Field and they're playing the Saskatchewan Huskies, 95% of the people that are watching this broadcast are from Saskatchewan. Just keep that in mind. Like, you know your audience, I guess. So in that we're on Edmonton Sports Talk, you know, I understand that most people that are watching would be Edmontonians and would cheer for the Elks and the Oilers and the Stingers and the Riverhawks.
Might as well cheer them on to some degree as professional media. And, you know, obviously we try to do fan-sided media over here. We're obviously big Edmonton Elks fans, and then that's part of our gimmick. But then, you know, when we do our Shotgun Sports Network thing, we keep things very neutral, try to be as neutral as possible. And yeah, I mean, you can still get giddy about the hometown guys, like such as when we're covering Carter Kettle. Just kind of want to talk about another one of your experiences in speaking about professional media and trying not to be biased. IFAF World Juniors at Commonwealth Stadium, ran into you there. It was great to see you there. I believe you were doing the broadcast, I want to say with Dave Dawson or somebody along those lines. So can you speak about your IFAF adventures?
That was crazy. So that came along very fast. And that was during my time where I was kind of like, okay, I don't have a full-time job as a furniture guy, and I'm not full-time at EST. So Dave Dawson, who I knew from the Edmonton Wildcats, I was the vice president of the Edmonton Wildcats for 2 years. So got to know Dave very well. He calls the games there. And him and Rob Herod are two peas in a pod. Dave does the play-by-play. Rod does the color. So I think it was Rod's his son's graduation. So he couldn't be at the USA versus Japan game for the IFAF game at Commonwealth. So he called me and said, hey, would you like to do color? Yeah, sure. So Japan kicks the crap out of USA, like demolishes them. Nobody saw this coming. And we're having to say names like Yakisoba, Yakishima, like really tough names that we don't have pronunciation guides. So it was like, boom, you're thrown into the fire. Here I'm sitting in the broadcast booth where Dusty calls TSN games with Glenn Suter, for goodness sake. I'm like, holy smokes, this is coming at me really fast. And it was so funny. But there was a clip that kind of went viral from that game. And it was because the Americans were very upset that they were getting beat by Japan. The American media, once this got out, like Pat McAfee retweeted it. My RG3, Robert Griffin III, for goodness sake, like my Washington idol, he retweeted a clip that I was calling. So I was doing the color for it, and it was an incredible experience. It was really cool to see that and to be a part of it, and then to see the after effect of the Americans. By the way, for the American side, like they had nobody there. Like the players that, because I think it was U18.
Yeah. I want to say it was either U18 or U19.
Yeah.
You know what, Scout? That might have been U19 because maybe because the players that were already like the best players in the U.S., they're already at Clemson. They're already at Arizona. They're already at Michigan. So like they didn't have their cream of the crop, but the Americans lost their mind that they lost to Japan. So yeah, that was an incredible experience. What a deep pull, Scout. Holy smokes.
Well, I mean, hey, I like to talk about the experiences that we particularly know you for. And I remember that you were fresh at EST at that point. I wasn't sure where you got the connection there. I thought it was because of EST. I was like, oh, okay, they pulled him from EST for this. This is awesome. So I ran into you in the media booth, and I want to say it might have been for that game where Japan beat USA. I think I was too close to the line, and it was one of my first media appearances, like major media appearances like this. And I have shot football before, but I was too close to the line. So a ref ran into me got yelled at pretty good for it. And then I proceeded to be I shot for the gold medal game, Canada versus Japan, and a play went out to my side. And yeah, like it was like a huge, either huge miss or huge catch or run out or something. And they almost knocked me over with all of my gear. So that was my memorable moment, but I definitely wasn't going viral like you. And it was just really cool to see you in that environment. You know, you do see a couple of Edmonton media folks, but at that point I was like, holy cow, Jay Milne has it going on. Like Jay Milne is this guy is out here doing color commentary. He's up here eating the free media meals and all of that good stuff. So it was really sweet. It was great to see you there. Now, Kathy, I'm gonna take this one. You got number 6, but let's talk about the Labor Day bus. The reason why I wanted to take this one is because Kathy may not be going this year, and she was not on the last one, but you and I know how good the Edmonton Sports Talk, Edmonton Elks Labor Day bus is. September 7th, that's our first big date that we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about another one in a moment, but September 7th, Labor Day bus. Tickets are $160, but there is a discount code for viewers and listeners of EST. We're not going to say it over here. You got to go over to EST to hear it. But can you tell us a little bit more about the promo and what people can expect on this Labor Day bus trip?
Well, last year was a riot. Last year, as you know, it was a blast. I mean, you're surrounded by Elks fans. You're quickly thrown into a family fire. You're all now 2 buses of family, and you're all arm in arm, taking care of each other. They seat you, and I'm sure they will again, in the worst seats in McMahon, which says a lot because McMahon Stadium is a dump.
Yeah,
I don't know how the hell they got the Grey Cup, but anyways, the hottest part of the stadium, but it was great because you were surrounded by friends, and you know the coach buses were like I don't know. I swear to God, we were the first people to use them. They were so clean and new. The refreshments on the way down were nice. Stop in Red Deer, stretch your legs. It was perfect. And it was different for me because as soon as we got there, Matthew Iwanek and I bolted to go and do the pregame show, which we had lined up. It was at the Canadian Brew House University location. So we Ubered over there, set up and did our show. And then when that was done, we met up with everybody else. So we missed out on a bit of it, but you're there early enough to take advantage of the tailgate down in Calgary, which is a great scene. And there's always tons of Elks people, tons of family again. Right. So, I can't say enough about it. And this year we were questioning because last year it worked out so well because Dustin called the game in Calgary. So his plan was to drive home from Calgary after the game. So he came to the brew house, waited and had some chicken wings while Matt and I were finishing up the post game. And then we all drove home together. So it worked out. Well, Dustin ain't doing the game this year. So Matthew and I are figuring out, navigating our way. We're going to have to figure out how to, because we can't hold back the buses. Yeah. They got to be out of there right after the game. So we're going to figure out a way to get it done. But yeah, it is really good. And if you go to edmontonsportstalk.com, there's a link right there. You can find out all the information. And there is, it's a well-publicized promo code, EST Labor Day. But you can find it anywhere online. But it's fun and it's affordable and it's just a safe way to get to and fro that game. And it is an electric environment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely insane time. It is fantastic. I was on a good bus last year. I don't know how many buses they're going to have this year. I personally heard, it could be up to 5 if they get the demand, but sounds like tickets are moving. Supersized, and the legend of supersized Indiana Jones was made in Section X at McMahon Stadium when we were there. I think last time ended up working so perfectly because, like you said, Dusty was on the call. You had Tom Gazzola at the time with EST down on the sidelines. And the amount of additional content, once again, you know, like the Legend of Supersized Indiana Jones, but them showing all of us up in the crowd, Dusty getting to talk about EST for the first time. You know, Dwayne Ford was eating up the bit. Like, it worked out so well. There's a lot of great promo behind it that, you know, was kind of unintentional. Of course, we know it was a lopsided, bit of a lopsided affair for the Calgary Stampeders, unfortunately. Rockin' Ronnie from the Ozone does say, see you in Countdown. Also, go Askies. Jason.
Well, and we had Dwayne Ford on our show not that long ago, and he still talks about supersized Indiana Jones, but he doesn't say, well, that's Big Uke, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's quite that was a huge day for EST as well. Definitely.
Oh, it was great. Tracy, ham and eggs, bus ride was one big party. He will not be going this year. Yeah, I mean, it was unreal. Kathy, you're not the only one. You don't have to feel bad about missing.
I know. Well, I felt bad. I had some serious FOMO when I was watching you all party, and I was getting all the updates from the buzz from Scout. And I'm like, man. And unfortunately, this year might happen again. There's life happens. You know, I have other conflicting things happening in my schedule that unfortunately, you know, have a little bit of a priority, but we'll see if I can move some things around. It's one of those things that some serious FOMO. I know it's going to be tons of fun.
But there's one thing that you won't miss, Kathy.
Calgary?
No, well, that too, but there's a big date on September 16th. It's a Wednesday.
Talk about that. September 16th. EST is hosting the Esties, aka the EST Awards at Varscona Theater. Sold out already, we noticed. That's what you guys were hoping for, right? Tell us about the event.
Yeah, so this is our third edition of the Esties. And this just speaks volumes to our followers, our listeners, our viewers. They play hard. They show up and they show out. And it was just really cool to see, because this year we moved to the Varscona, not because we weren't happy with the Metro Cinema at Garneau, but there was a scheduling conflict. So we, okay, Varscona it is. A little bit of a more intimate setting, but with that comes the limit of seats. So, and we also made a switch this year, which I think helped a lot, to e-tickets. So my tickets currently are in my wallet, like my Apple Wallet. So that also helped. Instead of, hey, email Matt, and he'll say, okay, send me money. Like, it was way more streamlined this year. So I'm not surprised that it sold out. To be quite honest, I think we're all, there they are, Scout. We were all a little bit like giddy that it sold out that fast. But once again, that's just a credit to our fans and our listeners and our followers and people that get EST, and because without them and you guys, like it's there's nothing there, right? That's what makes it so special. But we're pumped. I mean, Josh Clausen is the MC. I mean, come on, like that guy is royalty in Edmonton, and he's a beauty. He's just a good dude, right? That's why he's an EST here, right? We're surrounded by beauties, so it's gonna be a great night. I'm bringing the whole family. I'm bringing my wife, my three daughters. There's talks about a potential red carpet interview spot. You know how, like, at the galas they do that, and they'll stop people but hosted and interviewed by my daughters.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, you're not going to say anything to you. Just ask questions like, who are you? It would be really cute. So we're pumped. And like I said, it's marked on the calendar for sure. That's going to be a fun night. Both you are coming?
We will be there. That is, correction, September 15th at 7 p.m.
15.
Once again, the Varscona. Very, very excited. Yeah, I mean, we'll both be there. Wouldn't miss it for the world. I guess last question from my end is, do you think you're going to pick up some nominations this year?
Oh, God. I hope not. So, oh, shoot. Who's the name of that? Who was the daytime actress? She was on The Days of Our Lives. She was nominated about 18 times in a row for a daytime Emmy, or maybe it was even more than that. It was 20 some times, but she never won until her 18th nomination. I want to beat that. I endeavor to be the longest standing member of EST that has yet to win an SD, and I will fight tooth and nail for that. I mean,
Angela Lansbury, apparently.
Oh,
Angela
you should look that up really quickly.
I want to covet that. I want to be the longest serving member without one. So I don't even know what categories I would be nominated for. But I will make it public that I would like you to abstain from voting for the glue guy, just in order to try and propel this and try to keep it going. I mean, if this thing got to year 4 or 5, I think we've got something. We just got to get through these lean years where sure one could fall in my lap. I don't, let's keep it going. Let's try to. I can present all the SDs I want.
Susan Lucci, by the way, Susan Lucci.
Susan
Lucci is the one who went on her 19th nomination. I think she finally got it.
But here's the
that's
thing.
who you're
You can be nominated. You can be nominated. You just can't win.
Oh, I would take great pride in being the most nominated member of Edmonton Sports Talk. That would fill my heart so much. However, and the likelihood of it happening. I mean, how many awards can Dustin and Eric really win? Right? I mean, those guys just. Okay, this is the Dustin and Eric award show.
Right,
so
we're gonna start calling rigged at some point.
Rigged.
Right?
Too good.
To be quite fair, their show is kind of a wagon, so I understand.
It is one of the biggest on the network, on Edmonton Sports Talk. Supersize Indiana Jones, going to get to some comments here, and then Kathy has you for the last one. You two won an SD last year. Of course, you're going to be there. I see that, what were we saying? Who did drop some stickers into our donation box. So thank you so much for those. We will definitely jam them up. Some were good. Pardon me. We also do have Jason the Acadian, Jay, always the bridesmaid, Milne. And he does also say, at least you didn't lose 2 wheels.
Well, wheels is up there for a couple categories. And yeah, I mean, you guys have won an SD. So that's great. I want as many other people to win SDs outside of me as physically possible. I mean, we could have Colin Mockery win an SD, for God's sake, before I do. That would be great.
And knowing ESD, it just might happen. I mean, we've seen crazier. So.
Yeah, no, it'd be fun. It would be a very ESD thing.
We can make it happen. We'll make it a thing. Now that everybody knows, I'm pretty sure that will be the goal of everybody else. Totally. You can get nominated, but you just don't get to win. We'll see you in 19. But yes, we do have one last question. Usually we try to ask this when it's a little bit more wholesome, a little bit more deep. What advice do you have for future generations of athletes turned sportcasters?
Wow. I've never been asked this question. Be humble. Be humble and listen. Shut the fuck up and listen. That would be what I would say. Stay out of your way. Earn your stripes. if you are great at sports, that doesn't mean anything in the broadcasting world. There's people that have done this as a profession and take heed to that. But listen, just shut up and listen. That would be my advice.
Love it. That's a home run answer right there.
I like it.
A touchdown, if you will.
Oh.
Perfect. There you go.
There you go.
Oh, Jay. All right. We don't want to take much more of your time. Fantastic stuff here. Where can our viewers and listeners find you online?
Oh, yeah. It's at Jason Milne on X and on Instagram. I don't really do the Facebook thing. It's hard to cross over. I'm 44. Like, for me to have a laptop is a blessing. I don't, it's about the best. If you really want to get a hold of me or follow me at Jason Milne on X, on Instagram, and of course on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Perfect. And you're really good for the Edmonton Elks updates as well. Sometimes you're down there at Commonwealth Stadium, especially for the green and gold kickoff and post-game show. But Jay, we can't thank you enough for spending your time with us tonight. This was a fantastic conversation. We really appreciate what you bring to the Edmonton sports community, and we hope you have yourself a fantastic night.
You guys, this was great. Anytime you guys, have a guest that can't make it and you need somebody to come in, I really don't do anything. I just sit in my basement and wait for people to say, hey, can you join us on our podcast? So anytime you need somebody last minute, you hit me up, okay?
You're the man. Really, really appreciate it. And we know you have some damn fine grass as well. So we know you do just a little bit more than wait on the line and hold on a line. But, man, once again, can't thank you enough. We hope you have yourself a fantastic night, and we will definitely chat you again soon, my man.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Have a good night.
Check you later. And that was Jay Milne of Edmonton Sports Talk, co-host the Reed Wilkins show with Jay Milne. And then, of course, as we said, green and gold, pre and post. Fantastic guy. Jay's awesome. That was an awesome chat. Everybody, can't thank you enough for being here as well with us. If you missed that conversation, go ahead and check it out. I will say, little tiny bit choppy, unfortunately, on Jay's end, but hopefully, I heard everything perfectly fine. So, going to be a great listen and still a great watch, because Jay Milne's face in different pixelations is also fun as well. But no, awesome stuff. Make sure you check him out over at EST. Shout out to the viewers, shout out to the listeners. Please hit the like, subscribe, and favorite buttons, all of that good stuff, because that is how you show some love around here. But before we get into Kathy's Herd Report, we do have a little bit of breaking news. Jason and Andrea organized a taco contest at stall 138. 6 competitors entered this contest, presented by Casper Stickers and Vinyl, Leduc Brewing Company, Roker Barbecue, Triple Creek Golf Club, and the Edmonton Elks. We have a winner of both the fan vote and the judges vote.
Oh, wow. The fan vote and the judges vote was the same.
We have a winner for both.
Oh.
It's the same winner
for
both of these. Your winner of the 2026 Taco Taste-Off. Congratulations, Pierre Barrett. Pierre, who is frequently in the herd chat. Man, like, another round of applause. How about some horns? Congratulations, Pierre. You won both the fan vote and the judges vote. I'm gonna confirm, because I know it was. It is. It's both Pierre. Yeah, he also got like the same points on both of the judging and popular vote and the judges vote. It's like the same score, which is nuts. But either way, Pierre ended up winning.
Nice. It was well deserved. Not gonna lie. That was very authentic. It was absolutely delicious. I'm disappointed that I didn't take a picture or ask for the recipe, because that is definitely something that I would like to have again.
Looked delicious. Looked absolutely delicious. I did get to have one. I got to swap in for one. Very delicious, like what I ate. I believe that was, I want to say, Ken's.
Yes.
So supersize Indiana Jones, Big Uke here was so damn tasty. Big Uke was a judge. Ginger Argo was a judge. Yourself was a judge. And I believe Jason and Andrea / Jason and Andrea were also judging in this contest as well. Yeah, I mean, no bias. Everybody got the scores that they got, right? And it was a very successful event. I'm really, really thankful for Jason and Andrea for organizing this. They did an absolutely fantastic job. What do you think, Catherine?
It was amazing. It was amazing. I think it worked really well. They did a super great job. And I'm excited to have another event every year that just brings the tailgate closer. It's just another activation that I think is very successful. I think there's a couple of little things that we can definitely work on. We've talked about this before, but I think we definitely have to make sure that more people know, who is competing, where they're competing, whether it is a flag system or anything that lets people know that whoever has a specific little flag or something, they're feeding other people. That would be, I think, one of those improvements that we could definitely do just to increase visibility. But other than that, I think it was very successful.
Huge. I mean, I think that, I think for visibility, there's going to be a conversation somewhere, whether it's us and Edmonton Elks, whether it's us in a promo company. We will figure this one out and navigate it at the end of the season, try to get some feelers out to our good friend Michelle over in the tailgate. But yeah, I mean, a flag system or some sort of notification that, yes, this stall is indeed open to feed people and giving away food and all of that. Because there is some confusion there, right? Dave in Section T, we discussed this before. He had recognized, where that's also an issue too, because they have people coming up and they might not necessarily be doing the party food thing, right? So, I mean, I think that this was a really successful event. I think we were maybe looking at hot dogs or burgers for next year. We're going to kind of come up with that idea in the off season, figure out how to change this particular.
I don't know. I think tacos are great. Have the tacos every year.
I agree. I could do tacos every year too, but once again, the winner is Pierre. Congratulations. You will be getting the prizes in the tailgate at the upcoming game. Big thanks to the sponsors. All of those sponsors came together. Jason and Andrea organized all of that. So they got some great partners down there to help out with this one. Amazing prizes from the sponsors for this. Pierre, winner takes all sort of deal on this one, which is great for Pierre. And a big shout out to the Edmonton Elks for supporting our Taste of Tailgate series as well. Really excited about the prizes that they offered up and, of course, allowing us to do this. Really excited now for the chili cook-off. So Taste of Tailgate series will finish up at the end of the season. Second last game, September 26th. And then we will be handing out the trophy and the prizes on October 16th. So really excited. But I mean, no matter what, this definitely gave everybody a great foundation to work with. And we can improve upon the Taste of Tailgate series next year. So really excited, and big thanks to everybody involved for making this happen.
Yeah. Cool.
But we have an Edmonton Elks game to talk about, so let's dig into it. Next up, we have Kathy's Herd Report, where we talk about recent news, transactions, and everything else. Today's Herd Report is brought to you by the Shots from the Hip podcast. Oz and Jason give you the latest from CFL to NFL, NHL to NBA. You can find all of that and so much more right here on Shotgun Sports Network on Shots from the Hip. All right, let's do this game recap, because it was one humdinger of a game.
Yeah, let's do it. It was definitely a game. What a game. It was a great game. Questionable at the start. It's, something that we were used to for the first half of the game. Little worrisome at times, but it was definitely a much slower start than finish. That's for sure. Going into the first quarter, it always feels like Austin Mack needs a little bit of time to get warmed up. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Usually, at the beginning of the games, he just has some hiccups. And this time, it was a fumble.
Yeah.
Less than a minute in, fumbled the ball, giving Toronto possession midfield. Thankfully, the defense definitely came to play this game, and they held Toronto back pretty much throughout the entire game, including this time, which only let them turn the turnover into a field goal. Right after that, the Elks responded in kind. They got themselves a rouge from Jake Julian, punting 62 yards. So that was great. It's always great to see. I feel like Jake Julian is also always trying for the rouge.
Yeah.
we know he's the rouge king, so I get
He
it.
is the Rouge King, Mr. Rouge.
Mr. Rouge. So I get it, but sometimes it doesn't turn out, and this time it did.
Yeah.
Toronto also missed a 35-yard field goal. And Edmonton finished the quarter with another scary fumble by TJ Luther this time, but he recovered it, thankfully.
Thankfully.
Going into the second quarter, it was a bit chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton produced a touchdown on the first drive of the quarter, and that was after a sack for a loss of 6 yards and a time count penalty. But it was thanks to Cody Fajardo's 44-yard scramble, and he scrambled for it. 44-yard scrambled and rushed through the middle for 1 yard by Cole Snyder that it happened. So that was...
Yeah, and I mean, where we were sitting in Section X, that 44-yard run came directly our way. You could see the window open wide for Cody Fajardo to do that run. You could see it from where we were at. It was like, yeah, just keep running right through Section X, man. Like, just keep going. Just don't stop.
He had the opening and he took it.
Yeah.
Toronto had yet another missed field goal as well, and finally got themselves a touchdown after a couple of drives. In between those and after, we did see a Fajardo sack for a loss of 7 yards. We had a no yards penalty, roughing the passer penalty, and an illegal interference on cover penalty. So that's what I mean, that it was a little questionable. This was one of those quarters that you were like, oh, how is this going to go? I'm not liking what I'm seeing. They need to clean it up. And the half ended with Edmonton in the lead, but just by a couple of points.
It was like, what was it, 11-9 or something along those lines, right? Yeah, I mean, it was a really close end to the half. Yeah, it looked like it was a lot of Edmonton Elks self-inflicted harm, right? The Edmonton Elks weren't necessarily losing grasp of the game or anything like that, but it looked like they were inflicting pain onto themselves. So that was a little bit frustrating, but as we know, the third quarter, things started to get pretty juicy for the Edmonton Elks.
Oh, 100%. But as I mentioned when we first started, is that you didn't really know what kind of game this was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, although we know that Montreal is a fantastic team right now, we saw that the third quarter in that game was an absolute mess. And it was one of those questions of where are we going to go? Where are we going to take this? And the game took off. It took off on Edmonton's side, and it was fantastic to watch. Started with a fumble by Toronto right after the Vincent Blanchard kickoff, which allowed the Elks to score a field goal right as the quarter started. And
we'll take it.
Of course, Edmonton's defense, they were aggressive. Malik Carney taking Chad Kelly down for a loss of 11 yards, holding them to a field goal instead of moving, farther than that and actually getting a touchdown. Even after Edmonton got an offside penalty too. Yeah. So there was another sack in Toronto's drives too, this time for an 8-yard loss for Kelly. What happened next? Toronto, they responded with a sack of their own, but it didn't matter because Fajardo still got them to the Toronto 38, and Vincent Blanchard kicked for a 46-yard field goal. So that was a beauty to see. I thought it was a little bit longer than that. I thought he was at the 50.
I thought he had a 52. Yeah. I want to say he had a 52 in there as well, but
Maybe.
I could be wrong.
Well, this one was for a 46-yard field goal. And right after that, the Elks added another takeaway when Joel Dublanco recovered a fumble forced by J.J. Ross. There you go. That was a little hard to say. But right after that, Fajardo found Rankin for a 37-yard bomb to the Toronto 8, which he then capped with an 8-yard rushing touchdown. So that was also a really good game for Rankin.
I mean, this game was better for Rankin. I don't know if it was necessarily amazing for Rankin.
It was the best one that we have seen.
Good, sure, but great? Nah, I don't know about that. No, I'm just kidding.
It was good because he got himself some yards outside of the rush.
Yeah.
There were some passes, and he definitely, we know that he's good with those, right? He's, as you mentioned before, he was signed in as a wide receiver, so we know that he can definitely catch the ball. We definitely seem to be rushing him more than passing to him, so it's nice that he's being utilized in different ways. And maybe that's what I mean when I say a great game, is that we didn't see just the usual plays by Rankin.
So, I mean, I will get to some herd chat comments here before we dig into the fourth quarter. I did bring some up already on the screen. Let's get to some other ones here. Defense was on point from game day, baby. What up, Ken? Tracy Ham and Eggs. Ken does also say 52. That was earlier in the game. So, yes, you are correct on that. That's when that 52 happened. Stephen Assey. What up, Steve? Does also say Rankin got hit hard on that pass, before he did rush it in. But, I mean, that was like two major crucial plays for Justin Rankin. And I think that's even in my three thoughts. That's where I say, welcome back, Justin Rankin, because we're starting to see him utilized in that dual threat mode, just like you had mentioned earlier. Starting to see that him utilized in that way once again. But the problem is that you keep running him right up the middle and nothing's happening. When you start running him to the outside and start moving not only him, but the defenders around as well. Because right now, Justin Rankin has a spy on him. Somebody else had also kind of explained this as well. They're filling up the box. All the opposition is filling up the box so that Justin Rankin can't get through. They know that this guy's explosive once he's inside the box, once he's right outside of the pocket, right? Right past the line or at the line. They're boxing him in. Tracy Ham and Eggs does also say less up the middle. Stephen Assey, hit the thumbs up, chat. Yes, sir. Let's go. Hit the horn. Hit the thumbs up, everybody, while we're at it right now. But, let's talk about this blowout fourth quarter. Let's talk about it.
Man, the fourth quarter delivered. I think it may be the highest scoring quarter that I have personally seen, for sure. It wasn't a May. It was the highest scoring quarter that I have seen. So, started with a touchdown by Cephas right off the get-go, followed by a massive 85-yard pick six by J.J. Ross. Crazy play. Although we did see Carter Kettle being injured on the play, so that's never good to see. But definitely massive play that we saw. The defense, as you said before, they definitely delivered. They came to play. They did everything they needed to do. They didn't give Toronto a break. Noah Taylor sacked Kelly for a loss of 5 yards and held Toronto to a scoreless quarter. Edmonton added a field goal and a single from Blanchard, but they weren't done. There were some really good runs in this quarter. There was a 16-yard gain from Mack. League had a break-off and a 26-yard run. Rankin added a 24-yard burst. But it was J.J. Ross with yet another massive play after he intercepted Arbuckle with just a bit over a minute left. Garbage time at this point. Powell was in. That let Powell make some plays before a series of kneel downs to win the game at a score of 42-12. Oof. Is that a crow?
That was a crow. We dusted him. It was absolutely amazing. Now, Stephen Assey does say D-line was destroying Kelly. Give Game day, baby. Ken does say play calling is still questionable. The passing plays need to have some inside patterns to open up the space for the running. Linebackers would have to choose.
Yeah.
Also, Steve does say that pick six was the Elks turning point, TEH turning point, or TEC turning point, however you want to look at it. No matter what, the pick six took all of the wind out of those Argonaut sailboat sails. So it was really good. I mean, let's talk about the good about this game.
Yeah, there were quite a few. I mean, first of all, we have that 85-yard pick six.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about this before. We haven't seen a pick six from the Elks yet.
Well, we haven't seen one like that, especially this season, in a hot minute. I think we've seen them come close to a pick six this season.
Yeah.
I think that might be the first one, though.
Yes, that made it all the way through, because I know that there's been a few that got close, specifically by Ford. Tyrell Ford, he got us definitely close, but I think that one is the first time this season that we made it all the way through. Of course, Rankin, he had that 37-yard catch, 8-yard touchdown run. Fajardo with that 44-yard scramble. Cephas with a touchdown. Leak himself had a 26-yard run and a 39-yard return. Of course, we had the 2 fumble recoveries by Moggensen and Dublanco. So there were a lot of really good plays in this game.
And I'd also like to talk about, like, let's say what I was saying in last week's episode, keys to the game, ball hawk Chad Kelly. Well, they not only ball hawked him, the whole defensive line managed to turn over 2 balls on down. So a turnover on down, sad party.
For Toronto.
And there was also 2 forced fumbles that were recovered as well. So we're talking about 6 turnovers. 6 turnovers in that game. If the Edmonton Elks don't win it, what are you doing? They had to win that game with 6 turnovers. I know that the Edmonton Elks also turned over the ball a couple of times as well. Cody Fajardo did get sacked. The offensive line could have done better there. Cody Fajardo could have also been holding on to the ball too long. I didn't quite overanalyze those. What I will say is, as a fan, very fan-sided here, I had brought one of my best friends from Toronto that, the last time him and I were kind of in that setting was a Toronto Maple Leafs game in Toronto. I get to return the favor over here, Edmonton Elks game in Edmonton. And I had also brought my sister and her partner. Alex, my buddy from Toronto, was with his partner as well. So, Raven hadn't been to a game. My sister hadn't been to a game since they were called the Eskimos. And Alex was last in Commonwealth watching them practice back in 2017 or 2018, or maybe even 2016, watching them practice as the Eskimos. Everybody walked away with massive smiles, one of the best days ever for so many people. And that's the game day experience that the Edmonton Elks are trying to sell.
Yeah. Well,
sorry.
So yeah, it's that excitement, right? It's that giddiness, that excitement that people are going to go and talk about that to other people. Be like, oh man, you missed a great game. You should come see the next one.
Well, exactly. Like that's what I'm talking about. This was the Double E experience personified. This is you're sitting in the seats, you're interacting with the product, you're yelling, you're screaming, you're cheering. Somebody was holding up. I know that we were shown on TSN, pretty cool moment. Love a good old flex in Section X. But somebody was holding their baby like Simba right behind us. Circle of life moment with their baby hoisted up. Get that baby on TSN. Guess what? The baby showed up on TSN. It was absolutely amazing. I don't think that I've been to a game like that, Eskimos or Elks. And if I was at that game in 2014, then maybe I was. Maybe that was one of those deciding factors in me eventually going for season tickets down the road. But this was just absolutely amazing, and it was kind of like a coming out party for the Edmonton Elks, but to dominate like to truly dominate, not just, the last 5 minutes, not just shut down D, because we've talked about it on the show before. We believe that this team can dominate. We knew that the team could put out performances like that. They've put out performances somewhat similar in the last 5 to 10 minutes of play.
Right.
But we're talking about a whole half of pure domination.
Oh, yeah. It was good. It was good. I do want to talk about the comment that Steve Benassi said regarding the kicking.
Yep, I got it.
Kicking, we can depend on the kicking game this time around. Like, it's been great, and you can see it. It's been a little while since we can say that we have depended on a kicker and be confident.
Since Sean White, let's be real, everybody. Let's be real with ourselves. Sean White was the last best kicker for the Double E, Canadian at that, great for the ratio and all of that, but the last time we had a fantastic kicker, and no disrespect to Sergio Castillo, no disrespect to Dean Faithful, no disrespect to Boris Beatty, whatever other kickers that may be in between all of them, right? Vincent Blanchard is a dependable kicker at long last. I will say in this game, Jake Julian was not the most accurate. He did have some slices. Unfortunately, some of his boots were not the most accurate. I think that Jake Julian's fighting it a little bit. I don't know what's going on there, but his technique and his form, I think that there's some adjusting to do there. But overall, even Jake Julian's still giving us dependable numbers. He's not putting us out of a game. He's not directly causing a bad outcome. He has had a couple of balls illegally out of bounds before they hit the ground. So Jake Julian, I think he is fighting it a little bit, but for the most part, special teams you can rely on. Defense, best phase. I don't think that we can really debate that. Defense is indeed the best phase. But guess who was the second player of the week for the CFL this week?
Who?
Cody freaking Fajardo. Because he does what is necessary as the quarterback. He puts on the performances. He gets the touchdowns. He uses his legs. He is probably at like maybe the prime right now for Cody Fajardo, unless you want to consider Grey Cup Montreal. Cody Fajardo's like what, 34, 36? Like, I mean, this guy still has, he's not that old. So, I mean, he has gas left in the tank. And as long as the Edmonton Elks are successful, Cody Fajardo will be sticking around, right? I mean, I don't doubt this team. This team can win any game. We have said this before on the show, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens up next against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, well, before we do, let's take a look to see what the injury report is. Is this for Winnipeg? We're taking a look at Kenny Logan Jr. The game status as of today, as of Wednesday, today is doubtful.
Yeah.
Etivo Maga Clements is out. Royce Mitchie, Joe Robustelli, and Ben Saint-Moi are doubtful. But they are out of the 6-game injured list, which is still not any smaller than it was before. So,
right.
But that's, I mean, we're seeing some of them coming back and practicing, but it's just whether they're going to be missing some games. I don't think we have any transactions since the last week that we had. So I
don't think we do.
There hasn't been any movement there. The next game is going to be Friday, August 21st, 7:30 p.m. against Winnipeg.
Let's go.
Is it what, country night?
Country night at Commonwealth Stadium. Tracy Ham and Eggs is jumping off the stream, but he does say see you Friday. Always great food over at Ken Stall. He's always cooking something good over there. I mean, big game, country night, Winnipeg Blue Bombers in town, a little bit of a short week by one day. And even then, it's not a full 24 hours short, so tough to use that as an excuse by any means. But, 27-23 would be an ideal Edmonton Elks win. I think that they're coming off of a really big confidence-boosting game, but these type of games can make you overconfident. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that that's not the case with the Edmonton Elks. They need to keep it in check. The vibes are good right now. They're playing good football. They're feeling good out there on the turf. But they can't get too overconfident or get too cocky. Otherwise, we may see a loss on Friday night. I think that I'm pretty confident. I do think that it's going to be a 4 to 7 point victory. Like I said, 27-23 would be my ideal score. I don't think the Edmonton Elks are going to hold Winnipeg to 12 points, but they can hold them to 23. Cody Fajardo needs to keep the clutch performances rolling. Stevens and Luther are helping create a four-headed monster out there alongside Austin Mack, Justin Rankin, right? Cody Fajardo in there. So, yeah, I mean, you can't discount Brandon O'Leary Orange. You can't discount Keon Julian Grant, some national guys. It's insane. Jason, the Acadian, does say, though, I hope it's not a trap game. I hope it's not either. I hope that this is another building block. Steve Benassi also does note that Collaros is back too. We do have him on the game day graphic coming up on Friday, so made sure that he would be back. But let's quickly talk keys to this upcoming game. I have 3 keys for the game on this. First one is stop the run. Prevent Brady Oliveira from putting the team on his back. Because when all else fails, Brady Oliveira does not. And that's something to be worried about. The Edmonton Elks at times can have problems stopping the run. Defensive line coming off of a big performance. I hope that they build upon it. Key number 2, continue the complementary football. There is a good chance that we will see turnovers in this game, and the offense needs to capitalize, needs to score for the D. Mm-hmm. We did see some complementary football in this last game, right? Mm-hmm. And then number 3, special teams be special. Javon Leake hasn't seen the best returns, but some help from special teams will put the Elks into a good position, thus giving them a better opportunity to score. I do think that Javon Leake may be due for a big return. We're waiting for that return touchdown. We want to see one, and we want to see it this season.
I like how you say it. I'm going to say this going forward. If special teams sucks, I'm just going to say they were not special this time.
They were not special. Special teams would be special, would you? Player to watch, Justin Rankin. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah. For this one? Yeah, I guess he's going to go against Brady Oliveira and the kind. People are going to be watching Brady Oliveira. So Justin Rankin is a good one. I'm going to say my player to watch is going to be Cody Fajardo. I want to see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be one of those clutch performance type of games where it might end up being a shootout again. This might be one of those ones that comes down to the wire, and if it does, you want Cody Fajardo slanging his best, throwing his best, and potentially running his best, or sneaking his best as well, because as we know, he's been holding onto the ball. And
give me a trick play. That's all I want sometime this season. I just like everybody's keeping track of everything. I'm going to keep track of trick plays and how many trick plays we have now done for the season. And I'm hoping to at least see one this season. Yeah,
so far we haven't seen none. Jason does also agree the not so special teams. So very interesting. Yeah. All right. So yeah, Justin Rankin and Cody Fajardo. I like those for players to watch. Also taking a look at what they did earlier against Winnipeg in Winnipeg. I'd love to see them get the season win, the season victory this Friday. And then that way, maybe later on, that third game against Winnipeg, maybe either sets it up for a sweep or sets it up for a really big matchup that the Edmonton Elks may really need to win, right? So I think there's going to be some more excitement with Winnipeg down the road, just like there's going to be more excitement with the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Already have that one circled on the calendar. It's an exciting season. Very exciting season. All right, quick little fantasy rundown here. What is your fantasy? What's your fantasy mini segment? Let's talk about who is on our fantasy team and who we picked for this week. If you'd like to potentially get a victory off of our backs, you can do so right here in this segment. All right, defense, I'm obviously picking Edmonton Elks after what they just did. I'm happy I had them last week. I'm going to select them again this week. Same goes for Cody Fajardo. Coming off of a player of the week honors. Hopefully that rides him into a great performance against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Oh yeah, we have him as captain ×2. Usually a safe bet instead of going for that gamble of Horvath or Rankin or whoever your running back or good wide receiver is. Instead of gambling on them, safe bet is Cody Fajardo. Do have Xander Horvath at running back of the BC Lions. Larry Roundtree the third for Hamilton versus Toronto. I think that's going to be a fun matchup there. I did take TJ Luther because Cephas got his touchdown, right? So TJ Luther may be due for another touchdown. I took 4 Elks. I also took Austin Mack. I can't quit Austin Mack and the Edmonton Elks. I'm too biased.
You are biased.
Well, I'm winning in fantasy, so I'm doing something right. And I think
the Elks are winning.
Exactly. I mean, it works, right? And then Devontae Coxey for the flex. I think Coxey is coming off of a brutal game, and I think that he's going to want to try to smack Hamilton in the mouth. I think that he's going to be holding onto that ball extra tight against Hamilton, and I do think that he is a great fantasy pick. Obviously, for Edmonton Elks, that we like in season-long fantasy, Vincent Blanchard obviously is going to be a mainstay on our team. Cody Fajardo and Austin Mack, as we just said. Tough to go wrong with those two. Keon Julian Grant, but I will say Brandon O'Leary Orange has been making a really good case to make a national spot on season-long fantasy. So that's going to be a storyline to watch. Keon Julian Grant hasn't done too much in the last couple games, but you never know when he busts out for that touchdown. Justin Rankin, still a bit of a question mark. I mean, he's a player to watch for us as far as the game, but as far as money, I don't know if I'm necessarily gambling on Justin Rankin this week. If you have him in your fantasy lineup, you're going to use him anyways. But if you do have a Xander Horvath that you can swap him out for, yeah, I mean, why not? Speaking of which, other players that we do like besides Xander Horvath, Eberhard is still a great pick. Davis Alexander at quarterback should be a lock against Ottawa. Is this game Montreal versus Ottawa? Is this a trap game for Montreal? I don't think so, but Ottawa's very, very, very due for a win, and I feel really bad for the road team who continues to eat lemons every day for as long as Ottawa keeps losing. So, and then once again, Devontae Coxey of the Argos, I think that he is going to pop off this week versus Hamilton. So very similar. I mean, very, very similar between the personal fantasy teams for season long and the weekly fantasy. So I think that it's not like I necessarily mailed it in. I just have a really good feeling about all of these guys popping off this week. So I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. All right, let's dig into an Edmonton sports update. Today's Edmonton sports update is brought to you by Herdy's. A Taste of the Orient is coming to the tailgate. Swing on by stall 182 for some delicious chicken fried rice, Chinese food style. We will be serving this fan favorite 2 hours before the game on Friday.
Why are you waiting so long? No.
The Edmonton Elks are currently 7-3 after a 42-12 victory versus the Toronto Argonauts. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers come to town for a Western Showdown for Country Night. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m. with the tailgate outside of Commonwealth Stadium in Lot B at 5:30 p.m. Mountain. Golden Bears football is right around the corner. The Golden Bears hosting the Regina Rams on September 4th. Get your tickets online at Ticketmaster.com. I actually got to confirm that. I know they're playing the Regina Rams. I should double check that one. Luke Combs is coming to Commonwealth Stadium in May 2027. Elks season ticket holders may qualify for a pre-sale code. Stay tuned to your inbox for updates if you qualify. For more Edmonton sports updates, you can head on over to shotgunsportsnetwork.ca. Where the Elks herd, you're up to date. Shout out to the viewers. Shout out to the listeners. Shout out you. Shout out you for rocking with the Elks herd.
Stop.
On Shotgun Sports Network. We're having an absolute blast with you guys. Hit the thumbs up, hit the like, subscribe, favorite buttons, all that good stuff.
Listen, shout out me for having to handle your awkward, weird pauses.
We do it for the song, okay? We do it for the song. I am actually going to quickly look up that Golden Bears information because we do need to report accurate information here.
That's fair.
And this one is very, very important, especially to us because we do like Golden Bears football games. Always good stuff. I'm going to look this up, but in the meantime, let's play a game. Let's play a game called Green or Gold. Our take on Hot or Not. Green or Gold is brought to you by Lather, LATHR.com. Smell damn good with Canadian-made soaps, hygiene products, and more. All the best scents, barbershop scents, all of that good stuff. You can find that over at LATHR.com, Lather.com. We do have it in the description. The Elks Call is happy to have Lather on the roster, and we know you're going to love having it in your drawer roster as well at home or the shower shelf roster. They're going to be there on standby for you. Either way, that's Lather.com. If you want to save 20%, use code SHOTGUN20, all caps, no spaces. Smell damn good with Lather. Save damn money with Shotgun Sports.
Can we bring up Nathan's comment and Steve's comment? He pauses because he's on special teams. Oh, I like it. And Steve also says that Scout is out of Catherine's chancla range in the new setup. I went to a Mexican restaurant yesterday and they had a sticker that says chancla survivor.
Oh my God.
Because this is what I always carry around, and that's what Scout is not going to get today.
Just nutty. That
was good.
That's pretty good. It is pretty good. I will also say that game is indeed September 4th. That's going to be the home opener for the Golden Bears. All right. So green or gold, we are going to bring up a topic or item. If you like it, you're going to vote gold. If you don't like it, you're going to vote green. Herd chat, you know what to do. Blow it up. Get your comments into the herd chat, and we will bring your vote up onto the show. All right, first topic here, country night theme. Catherine, is it a green? Is it gold?
You know, this is a big green. So,
big green.
You know, I usually miss one game a year. I do have to catch up on schoolwork, and I always give the opportunity for Scout to bring a friend in one of those, you know, make sure that there's somebody they're helping him. And I'm very, very thankful that it's on country night because I can't stand it. So that's a big green on my end.
Kathy's voting green. I assume Nathan's boo.
Is a green.
I assume this boo is a green. Baptized Big Uke, aka Supersized Indiana Jones, does say yeehaw. We also do have Jason the Acadian saying it's too Calgary for my liking. It's a lot of green here on this country night.
Well, that's the thing. Calgary has they have the big rodeo, whatever.
Okay, well, listen, I'm going to give the exception here. I'm going to say, just like Ken does here in the herd chat, he says gold. And I'm going to say gold.
You don't
and the reason why I say gold is because I think that it's still very Berta. It's still very northern Berta, particularly. We still got a lot of prairie up here. We still got a lot of field. We still got country folk. And I mean, if Luke Combs can sell out Commonwealth for his country self, I'm going to say that the Edmonton Elks can get a good draw for some country-loving folks. Cowboy, hootenanny, hoedown type of people. Bear Paw Chris Agar, what up? It could be Agar, by the way. I'm going to have to get the correct pronunciation of your name. I unfortunately... Sometimes we mispronounce things on this show, but Bear Paw Chris does say green.
Nathan's, where's my death? I would love that personally.
Where's the death metal night? I like that. Stephen Assey, green. I agree with Jason. Nathan also does say Alberta is already country all the time. A normal night is country night. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I like that. All right. While those continue to roll through, let's talk about an item that you recently purchased. This was an item of the game. So this is called Mini Punter. What do we think? Is it a green or is it a gold? The Mini Punter.
It's a gold. He's the cutest little baked potato. Look at this.
He's not a baked potato.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed with the amount of people that say or claim that Punter is a baked potato or is a potato of any type. He's not a potato. He's a football. You got to put some respect on his name. Don't do Eddie and the gang like that. Leave Punter alone. He is not a potato. He is an amazing football, and I'm saying it's a gold. Because I don't call him names, I'm going to call him Gold today. This is the only name I will call him.
I also think it's a really smart promotion that they had. Because to be honest, when it comes down to it, I would not pay $38 for this. I would not pay over $40 with tax for this. But $20? Done. I wasn't even a question. I saw the promotion and I was like, give it to me. I will get it. So in many ways, like that's something to say about pricing. And when it comes to a lot of plushies, I mean, unless you're buying them for your kids, people will spend that kind of money. But when it comes to a promotion, I think it was a really smart one. They
so Kathy, yeah, I heard. And as we actually see in the herd chat, Baptized Big Uke on the last topic of Country Night, he's shining up the S kickers as he speaks, as we speak. That's a gold for him on Country Night. But let's talk about the Mini Punter. Let's take a look at the results here. Jason does say gold. Chris did say emphasis on the A. So Agar. I want to say that I got it right. I could be wrong. He also says, looks like Punter was on Weight Watchers.
Oh,
that's a good one. I think you're right. I think that he could be a little bit more girthy.
Punter's on the Ozemps.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Terrible. Supersized Indiana Jones. Big Uke does say that's a gold.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Hesse, gold. We bought 3, 1 for the dog too, which is also, I don't know where, there it is. There's the comment. Gold. Ken does say my dog loves it. Everybody loves this thing, especially the dogs. Punter was also great off the top rope wrestler. By God, it's Punter from the top rope. That was a pretty sick moment. Top Talent Wrestling was in there for that last game. At halftime, it was pretty sick. So we'll say that was pretty darn sweet. Nathan Byer, he was in on the deflate gate.
It's no longer 13 psi. I think it's a little lower now.
a little 8 psi or something like that. 7 psi. He's looking a little flat. He is, well, the performance for the Argonauts was deflating, but it wasn't for punters. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Okay, I think that is it for Green or Gold. If you do want to answer, if you are just tuning in, what have you, feel free to go ahead and still throw that in the herd chat. Thank you very much, everybody, for participating in Green or Gold. That's a fun one. That was a good one. But speaking about good ones, this is the final segment coming up. We always have to open up the fan forum at around this time. This is the fan forum brought to you by Argos Fancast. Join Clay and Sir Doug as they give you the latest from Argos land right here on Shotgun Sports Network. A week ago, I did join them for a very fun episode. So if you have not checked that out, that's over at Shotgun Sports, the exact YouTube channel you're watching this on. But the Shotgun Sports Network, what was it? The Shotgun Sports Network Civil War. It was a pretty good episode. So I did predict an Elks win over there too. All right. Question number 1 for today's fan forum. And once again, if you do have a question that you would like to bring up on the fan forum, throw it into the herd chat. Now, Chris did bring up, he did bring this up, and we will bring this up for next week's green or gold. Actually, we might be on the bye, so it might be right before the Labor Day rematch, which, you know what? That's probably, the Labor Day Classic. This might be really good timing anyways, but did you see this week's item? $20 green and gold straw EE cowboy hats. We'll talk about it later, because I feel like if you were to bring that to Calgary, I think you're confusing a lot of things all at once. Because you know that they're wearing like red cowboy hats and white cowboy hats.
Oh, no. Okay. And on that point, I think if there is one item that you want to bring to Calgary is a double E cowboy hat.
But then you're playing into their gimmick.
No, you're saying, look, we're better. Ours is better. Screw your cowboy hat. We have a double E one. That's what it is. So,
Kathy's chirp talk. Screw your cowboy hat. We got a double E one. Pew pew.
Pew, 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 pew.
Oh,
There you go.
we're the real Wild West up in Edmonton. Yeah, there's probably a different couple ways you could swing that one, but I like it. Yeah, see, exactly. Thank you, Steve. Fan dysmorphia, 100%. Thank you. We'll bring it up on the green or gold items for our next episode for sure. Don't you worry. Okay, so let's talk about the Edmonton Elks. They are 7-3. They're past the halfway mark of the season. Fans are quick to be excited about the record, but we still haven't hit Labor Day. There was a bit of uproar over an article our very own Len Nunes had posted. Shout out Len. Amazing work. He's been absolutely crushing it on the articles at shotgunsportsnetwork.ca. Highly recommend, if you have not read any of them, go check them out. Doing weekly recaps. Of course, I have my game recaps as well, and Len's also doing a little bit of extra too. So Matt Morrissey, also another great author over at shotgunsportsnetwork.ca, member of the Elks Herd. So getting back to it, Len had put up this article. A lot of people are like, look, why are you talking about Western Finals right now? I think we're getting a bit too ahead of ourselves. And sure, maybe that is fair, but in general, do you think it's too early to talk about the playoffs, or do you think, at 7-3 the time is nigh?
I really do think they're gonna make it to the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's too early for a Grey Cup conversation, but I think it's reasonable enough to think that they will make it to the playoffs.
Okay, but what about, let's say, a Western Final conversation then? Do you think it's too early to talk Western Final?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I feel like they have a really good record and they're trending upwards and they have the makings to do that. But at the same time, we've seen weird things happen and anything could happen. And the kind of person that doesn't even give a score prediction because I don't want to jinx things. So it's one of those things that I'm not going to get into that conversation until I know that it's a for sure cease kind of thing. For now, playoffs are doable 100% with the team that we have. Western Conference is doable, but I'm not going to jinx it just quite yet because anything could happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll agree with that. I mean, I don't think it's too early to talk playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they're trending certainly in the right direction. They have to go 500 for the rest of the season to basically finish. What is it? They could go 500. They'd finish 11-7, I believe. If they were to go 500, win half of their games, lose half of their games, that's kind of a realistic expectation out of this team. But like you said, anything can happen. We're not going to speak about any of the what ifs here because I feel like that's putting bad juju into the atmosphere, and we don't need that right before Labor Day. But what I will say is I think that it's realistic to expect playoffs at this point as a fan. I think you can go ahead and expect it. Anything can happen, and you hold that very close to the brain. You hold that close to the heart. You understand that, and you know that, sure, this could all be wiped away. I've been there for that 7-0. And then I saw the ensuing 6 losses after, or whatever it may be. I've seen seasons absolutely slip away from the double E in the past. So I'm not going to say that they're for sure locked for the playoffs.
No.
Western Finals, sure, might be getting a bit ahead of ourselves there. But at the same time, I think if you're an optimistic fan, I think that you're thinking about it anyways.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, like you say, they're trending that way. They're a good team. They're showing improvement from previous seasons. I think they could make it happen. But once again, anything could happen. There's still quite a few games left, and there could be an offset. No, we don't want that. An upset, sorry, not an offset, an upset. We don't want that. Knock on wood, most definitely, right? We don't want any bad juju. I think they have the makings of it, but you never know. I mean, there's still tons of things that could go wrong between injuries or just a bad streak, and it's too early. So
Totally.
I think you just need to continue with the mentality that every single game is a new game.
1-0.
1-0 every single game, and just continue with that mentality and just go for the next game. Just go for the next game and make the next game a win. And if they continue with that mentality, they'll get there.
Yeah, I can agree to that. I can definitely agree on that one. Stephen Assey does say yes, too early, like saying shutout. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. Jason does say, yes, it's too early to talk about it, but the feelings are starting to form and the thoughts that this is real are forming. Still too early to voice it. The thoughts are there, right? And especially this series now coming up against the Calgary Stampeders. Obviously, first game in front of us is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers game. I think that the Edmonton Elks can win this Blue Bombers game. I think they most likely will. But anything can happen. You know, Winnipeg's still got a good team over there. They have the pedigree. This could still be a loss for the Edmonton Elks. And suddenly now you're looking at 7-4. And 7-4 doesn't quite look as good as 7-3. And what happens if they somehow get beaten in back-to-back weeks by the Stampeders? Now we're talking about 7-6.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a matter of 3 games, 4 weeks for this team from having playoff thoughts and playoff visions and potential Western final or at least a home play games. You know, they're there, but we're also technically 4 weeks out from that no longer being the norm.
What is it that you always say? That the real season doesn't start until after Labor Day.
Exactly.
So it's still way too early.
Ken does say, I need to see a full game win before I can be confident. I agree to that. Nathan Byer, don't plan the parade, but playoffs, I feel, are looking real good so far. So, I mean, it's kind of that cautiously optimistic zone. I think that people should be cautiously optimistic. We've seen stuff happen with this team in the past. We're going to see stuff happen with this team again in the future. It's a matter of weeks, days, years, who knows, right? But this team will have bad losses again. We will see, you know, potentially even a really nasty one still this season. Maybe we don't, but prepare for the reality that that's out there. Maybe the film and preparation is a lot better by the other coach. Maybe there's injuries that play into the Edmonton Elks, right? There's a lot of what ifs there, and we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. I also do think that for fan conversation, sure, talk about it, but just definitely don't expect it. Do not expect a home playoff game. Not yet. I mean, after Labor Day, once we see those first 2 games after Labor Day, you have a really good idea of what the team is.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the Elks have gone. This is question number 2. The Elks have gone on a juggernaut stretch between bye weeks. Their second bye coming just before Labor Day, coming up after the Winnipeg Blue Bombers game. So do you think the bye comes at a good time, or do you think the bye could hamper momentum?
I actually think it's a good time. I actually think if there's a time to kind of reset, you know, meditate, figure out what worked and what didn't, is right before Labor Day, and also gives time for some of those players that are still a little bit injured, but they're close to coming back to fully heal up. And we are definitely some of those players will be good to see back 100%. So I think it comes at the right time. I think there's no sure, it might be a loss of momentum, but it's also a chance for them to reflect on what has happened so far in the season and what they can improve on and what they can fix or anything like that. Yeah.
Well, and I mean, the bye week, once again, right? It's technically a non-work week. So anything that they do is outside of the stadium on their own accord, yada, yada, right? As per.
Oh, they could still reflect on their games.
I mean, a good quarterback or a good, teammate will most likely go through the playbook on their own accord, right? But I will say that this has been one hell of a stretch. Let me just go ahead and get the official number here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games.
Yeah.
So like an entire half a season or more of a half a season.
Yeah, I think they need it too. I think it will be a really good reset.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Like absolutely insane for a stretch.
It's been a weird season, not gonna lie. It does feel even that for us as fans is like back to backs. Maybe we need the bye as well. We need to reset ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, so far the Edmonton Elks have gone 6-3 on that stretch.
Yeah.
They won the game against the Ottawa Red Blacks to start the season, but they've gone 6-3 on that stretch. Could go 7-3 on this stretch. And I mean, it's right before Labor Day when the season really amps up, and they still get another bye after 4 games. So the Labor Day series, Toronto Argonauts on the 19th in Toronto, which will probably be a very crucial game for the Elks. And then they have the Hamilton Tiger Cats at home before they go on another bye week. That's going to be the chili cook-off game. And then, yeah, they have 2 away games and 1 home game after that. Winnipeg Blue Bombers, October 16th, final home game of the season. So only 1 game at home in October. And hopefully, I mean, like we just talked about, there may be another playoff game in November, which would be nice. But just kind of looking at the path to how they got here, it's a hell of a stretch. And I think it's very well deserved this bye week at this point. I think it's perfect timing, just like the comment here from Jason. It is perfect timing for the bye. Regardless of the outcome against the Bombers, it will allow them to fully focus and be ready to hit the back-to-back against their biggest rivals.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not necessarily concerned about this game against the Blue Bombers. Like, let's say if the Edmonton Elks do lose, I'm not going to make excuses for it, but if the Edmonton Elks lose to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, fatigue may be a factor. It's not like health is necessarily going to be a factor, but maybe fatigue might be, especially Cody Fajardo. He's throwing in these games, putting on performances. Arm does probably get sore and tired after a while. Probably does
it's not
need
like
a break too.
4-day break, right? It's only a 1 day less, right? It's not a 7-day break, it's a 6-day. We've seen other times, and we've heard Cody Fajardo be quite vocal about the short week.
Well, no, I think no, that was MBT.
Oh, was it? Yes.
Yeah, it was MBT.
That was MBT. You're correct on that.
Don't put that on Cody. He's a bit of a warrior. Okay, don't put that on Cody. You put that on MBT.
You're right. Call me out on that because you're totally right. That if Cody Fajardo, if there's anybody out there that he would be game for even a 4-day rest and go back and do something, it would be Cody Fajardo. Not sure if he would have the best game, but he would be game for it. He would be a player.
He's definitely a trooper.
Yeah, but I think fatigue, I don't think it's that bad. I think a 6-day rest is good. I think it's a winnable game for sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, I think it's a good time. I think they need it too.
Take a look here at the herd chat. Charlie Defoe, what up, Charlie? Hi, Scout and Catherine. Elks and Winnipeg should be a fun game to watch. Both teams need to have that must-win attitude, and I think they will. I mean, the Edmonton Elks, they have less pressure. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers, more pressure, but they're on the road. So for them to be road dogs and to also surprise the Edmonton Elks and get a win, it wouldn't be that surprising to me. I do think the Edmonton Elks will win this one, but once again, it's going to be that maybe 4-point to 7-point range. If they do, I'm not a sports bettor. I'm not going to give you the sports betting numbers and the over-unders and the spreads and all of that. If you do want all of that, Jay Milne does put up a Jay's Play of the Day over at Edmonton Sports Talk. So for your game day parlays and all of that, go check out EST Thursday, Friday, this upcoming week, this current week. before the upcoming games on the weekend, and they should have some good old Play Alberta bets and plays for you over there. St. John does say MBT was the worst. I mean, Zippy in the herd chat. What up, Roger Fadoon? Happy belated birthday as well. Edmonton needs an extra running back, home back-to-back. I'm going to say that Isaiah Knight is a very capable running back if they need him. So, I mean, does say Rankin needs some help. I think that's why we were seeing Javon Leake get utilized a lot more, which is what we want to see. It's supposed to be that whole Thunder and Lightning gimmick that they had come up with last year. Not seeing it so much. Oh, Roger did say, like Thunder and Lightning on cue, or maybe I should have read that first. But yeah, I mean, I agree. That's kind of what we need to see out of Rankin and Leake. Saw a little bit more of it in this last game, and if anything, Javon Leake, from what I remember, did indeed top the rushing board, even though Justin Rankin had 16 touches or 16 carries, sorry. His 16 carries, I believe the average was something like 2.5 yards per carry or something, because he was doing next to nothing or being pushed back on some of those rushing attempts, and of course, those are right up the middle, a lot of them as well, so... Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think that the Edmonton Elks are looking forward to the bye, but I think if they head into the bye with a dub against Winnipeg, that would be absolutely freaking amazing. I think it sends them off onto a little break before Calgary, and you come back and you're refreshed, and you want to hit the Calgary Stampeders hard.
Hit them hard.
The saying that the Double E have right now, if it walks, hit it, and if it talks, hit them. So yeah, I mean, hopefully we get some more great clips out of the Edmonton Elks after this upcoming game. I'm sure some great ones also came out of this past one. St. John does say, like Jed Roberts commented, teams are keying up on Rankin. Got some free first downs just by switching personnel last week.
Mm-hmm.
Big point. Jed Roberts did say that. I did see Jed kind of going back and forth. I don't know if it was on the Elks Herd Social specifically or in fans of the Edmonton Elks, any one of those groups. Jed Roberts has some of the best commentary. Why? Because he played the game.
Yep. Who knows if there's somebody that you should be listening to?
It's Jed Roberts. And Jed is very, very insightful. He's very, very good with his information and also offering that insight to fans. So, you know, like he said, Justin Rankin has the vision. He has the know-how. He has the speed. The offensive line has been looking good.
No, I said he's fully capable.
He's fully capable. I mean, it's not like the guy isn't, right? But like I was talking about earlier, and I did actually mention this, St. John, I did say that, you know, like Jed said, they're filling up the box. They're not letting him escape very far out from where the pocket is or out just outside of the pocket. Those players are all swarming in there. They're preventing Justin Rankin from having a breakout play. And like you just said, you know, they're keying him. You switch up your personnel. You have Javon Leake go the other way. Like, we're not seeing that double switchback motion. We're not seeing some of that stuff. I do wonder, once again, and I've said it on a past episode, I wonder if Jordan Maximic is maybe holding out to introduce some of this stuff later on. Kathy, you want to see a trick play. We want to see some creative play calling.
Anything.
Something. And I mean, Jordan Maximic is doing well enough to keep the ball moving, to get the ball into the red zone, and then, of course, to get it into the end zone as well. Red zone is getting a little bit better for the Edmonton Elks, and you like to see that. Build upon it, right? Build upon it, and make it a little bit easier on those guys, especially in the offensive backfield. But for now, I mean, O-line's relatively healthy. Team is relatively healthy. Replacements are doing really, really good. The next man up mentality is alive and well. And as long as you're not playing, 5 rookies on any given night, you should be good. So health is going to be a priority. Bye week coming up is going to be massive. But before that, we do have this Winnipeg Blue Bombers game, and we want to see an Edmonton Elks win this Friday at Commonwealth Stadium. Like Kathy had already mentioned, she's going to be on the 1-game IR. So I will be doing it solo out in...
I'm supposed to bring a friend.
Well, I'll be bringing my buddy Jeremy, but he's going to be coming He's going to be coming closer to the game time and not necessarily tailgate. He does get off work a little bit later. So, and then just to wrap up the fan forum, Jason does say all that stuff should be saved for the end of the season and playoffs. No need to empty all the tricks when you were winning without them. And no need to flex either, because the Edmonton Elks just got into that, kind of dominant zone there.
No, not yet.
So not yet. Maybe flex a little bit closer to the playoffs.
I'll be happy if they give me a trick play in the last game of the season. I just want to see one. I just want to see one.
It is against the Saskatchewan Roughriders, and it might have big implications. So
love it.
All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and close that fan forum, and just like that, we have made it to the end of the episode. Big shout out you, the viewer, the listener, for tuning into the Elks Call, wherever you may be tuning in to and from. If you're watching if you're watching this live, that's going to be on Facebook at the Elks Herd, or over at Shotgun Sports Network on our YouTube. If you're listening, that could be on Edmonton Sports Talk, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast. Big shout out to Jay Milne. Let's give a little applause. How about a special one for the Herd Chat tonight? Herd Chat was absolutely bussin'. Oh, speaking of bussin', real quick before we go, do got to show everybody there is a sweet lamp here. We did get one of these amazing helmet lamps, double E helmet lamps, from our good friend Dave Bussey. $75. If you are looking for one of these, we got the plug for you. So,
is that a speaker?
Because it shares the same body as the radio, so no matter what, there's always like a little speaker in there. So, like I said, if you want one, if you don't have one and you're looking for one, we know a guy that has a lot of them kicking around, and he would love to sell you one. So let us know. But as far as tonight goes, we're going to shut down this episode. Really, really thankful for you, the viewer, the listener, for tuning in with us. Hit the like, subscribe, and favorite buttons, all that good stuff. My name is Scout, a.k.a. the Rep from Section X.
I'm Catherine.
We are the Elks Herd. This was the Elks Call, and we can't wait to see you over at Commonwealth Stadium, Lot B, 4:30, 5:30, whatever. Can't wait to see you on Friday night for another lovely game day in Edmonton. Hopefully the Elks get the dub, and we will check everybody again soon, especially next week. Wait, in 2 weeks on another lovely episode of the Elks Call. Have a great night, everybody.
Have a good night.
Go Elks!